I've been living in New York City for 1 month now, and there's several things that have changed since my 1 week update video, and there's also some things I forgot to talk about in it, so that's what this video is going to be about. So probably the biggest change since the 1 week video is that I have a job now. It's just a retail job, it's nothing too exciting, but it helps pay the bills. Also, as far as employment goes, I am going to sign up on Rover next time they're accepting new pet sitters, because that's something I used to do for family and friends back in Kentucky, and I would love to keep doing that here. So if you're in the upper half of Brooklyn and you need a cat sitter, let me know. I wasn't really sure at what point in the video I was going to talk about this, but it's on my mind right now, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. And I also want to preface this by saying that I generally don't really care about celebrities that much. That said, I was in a subway station a few days ago, and I was heading back home from visiting my cousin. And while I'm standing there waiting for my train, Casey Neistat comes walking down the stairs onto the opposite platform. Now, let me just say, if there's one celebrity that I give a shit about, it's Casey Neistat, because his videos are literally what inspired me to start making videos, and his vlogs were like my first consistent exposure to like New York is a cool place. And I honestly don't know if I'd be here and be trying to follow the career and interest that I am without him. So even though I didn't talk to him or anything because he was on the opposite platform, it was still really cool to just see him in person and not through a screen for once. And when I moved here, I always thought it would be cool if I just like happened to see him somewhere, because again, he's like the one celebrity that it would actually be interesting for me to see out in public. And it only took 3 weeks for that to happen, so that's pretty cool. So something I forgot to do in the last video was a room tour, so that's what this segment is going to be. So taking up the main portion of the room is of course the bed. Next to it there's these cube shelves that also came with the room, and I've been keeping a lot of my camera stuff on there and also some snacks. It's also been functioning as like my bedside table. Next to that there's a closet where I have all my clothes and just a bunch of junk up on the top drawer. There's shoes and there's dirty laundry in the corner. And then up above that there's some extra storage, which right now I just have a bunch of empty boxes that I brought stuff here in. Behind the door there's this TV that also came with the room. I think we're going to get rid of it. I'm probably not going to use it. And my skateboard's here right now just because I haven't found a permanent place for it yet. What I do want to do is to get some 3x3 cube shelving to put back here. So back in this corner is the window. It's not like a great view or anything, it's just a ventilation shaft, but it is really nice to have some natural light in here. I've kind of turned this corner into my office. I got a desk for it, and I also got this chair. You might be thinking that this chair is an unusual choice for a desk, and you would be absolutely right about that. What I want to do, once I have the income to feel comfortable with a little bit bigger of a purchase, is I want to get a keyboard to go here between the bed and the desk. And I want to use this chair both for the desk, but also for playing keyboard. So I didn't want anything with wheels because then it would probably roll backwards every time I pressed the pedal. And I also didn't want anything with armrests that would get in the way when I was playing keyboard. So getting the chair here was probably one of the most New York things I've done because it was a little further away. So after I picked it up, I took it on the subway, I sat it down on the subway, and I sat down on the chair while I was writing. So since I'm lucky enough to live somewhat near Prospect Park, I end up coming here a lot in the evenings and just walking around and listening to music, just relaxing. And this might be a controversial statement, but Prospect Park is better than Central Park. You heard it here first. I love how the buildings are shorter around it, so once you walk in it, you can kind of forget that you're in a big city. It just has a much more relaxed vibe to it. There's not a bunch of like tourist destinations scattered throughout the park. It's just nature and walking trails and a bunch of people just hanging out. It's really nice. So I'm about to go meet two of my best friends who are in town for the weekend, and I'm super excited to hang out with them all weekend. I don't really know exactly what we're planning on doing. I do know they talked about wanting to go to Times Square and see... Okay, so for people who don't know, there is a hot dog in Times Square that appeared recently, and my friends have decided they want to go do that. And I'm not super excited about going to Times Square, but, you know, I want to hang out with them. And that's fine, because after that, I'm going to make them go to Central Park and watch some full contact sword fighting, which I'm super excited about as someone who used to go to Ren fairs and stuff. Don't really know what we're going to do tomorrow. I have heard talk of going to the Transit Museum, which of course I'm super excited about. We ended up not going to Times Square and instead went to the Natural History Museum and walked around Central Park for a while before seeing the sword fighting. We spent the rest of the afternoon wandering around and going to a few different shops, and then ended the day by walking the High Line. But the fun's not over yet because they're still going to be here tomorrow and part of Monday too. So, yeah, play that now. Sunday morning we went to the Transit Museum, and surprisingly enough, it was not my idea, it was actually my friend's idea. After doing the Transit Museum, we headed back into Manhattan so that we could go visit B&H. We also finally stopped to see the hot dog. We then finished the day by having dinner in Chinatown and doing some more street photography. Monday morning came much too soon and we had to say our goodbyes. And with that, I think I've basically wrapped up the past month. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, and thanks for watching.